Sorry, we don't know how to use this Facebook Live very well, so I
We're
clicked
working
out of
on
the
it.
presentation and it shut it all down, so we wanted to go back live. But the presentation is posted in Facebook, so you can see it. Bonnie just walked through all the slides brilliantly. But we want to be able to, close it out a little bit, and if you have any questions, to definitely leave it here if you would like that presentation. It is on our website, www.counselortips.com, and it says all about bullying. So it is I think it's the last hyperlink on the bottom, and you can download it if you need it. But we wanted just to kind of go through the slides and make sure we discussed it. So hopefully, if you have any questions.
So any of the materials that we have, we know we're reaching out to people that are educators, could be parents, could be counselors. Any of these materials can be adapted, and we can help with that. So feel free to reach out to us. I think in New Jersey, school counselors are in a very precarious position because we're oftentimes asked to investigate these potential HIB or bullying cases, and our trust with the kids that we work with can be compromised because we're kind of questioning them,
We're detectives.
and really can create a really tricky situation for us. So I would just say, in general, if you're somebody who's getting bullying behaviors reported to you, that you really start by doing the investigative work yourself on your end so that you have as many facts as you can. I often think about when I was growing up and I had to do current events, and my teacher would say, the 5 W's, stick to the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, and why. And, we'll add the how in there, of course, as well. So that's really something that I think is very helpful just as a guide in general for anyone who's working with children to be able to use when you're trying to gather information to then assess whether or not you might need to raise it to the level of HIB or bullying, or whether you need to report it, or how you might even handle it. So I would just encourage you to kind of ask those questions. What happened? Where were you when it happened? Get as many facts as you can. With older kids, I find that having them write a statement first is very helpful. Just getting out on paper what their perspective is of what happened, and then going back and using that as a tool to do a deeper dive to get into a little bit more as to what's been going on. Another piece of the whole equation is that often we find that when kids come and report to us, I don't know if it's just a societal thing. I feel like it is, where the accountability piece is missing. It's not like I'm going to come into your office and tell you, what I did that contributed to this problem. There may be times where legitimately they haven't done anything. But, we also want to make sure that we're asking questions like, how may you have contributed to this? What may your role have been? The answer may be nothing, and that may really be the truth. But I think we also need to start to have these discussions with kids about the fact that your actions have reactions, or your reaction can create other reactions from other kids. I talk all the time to kids about the fact that we can't change other people's behaviors, but we can change how we act or react, and that can then change the whole dynamic and how they behave towards us. So, Christine and I have talked a little bit about resiliency and accountability, and really how we, as counselors and educators, work to enable our kids to become more resilient and to take accountability. And we'll try to get you some details and some information on that. But I just want you to have some ways that you can start to assess a situation to determine whether or not it may rise to the level of bullying.
Right. And usually, it actually might be, if you're watching this in a different state or even in New Jersey, it may be that your school counselor does not do the investigation. So we're both school counselors. I do. Right now you don't, but you used to a bunch, probably more than I did, but I'm at the lower elementary level, and I do get I do get at least, I'd say 6 a year, which is a lot for pre-K through second.
I think for the age group you're working with.
And most things are conflict. Maybe one a year is truly, it's usually second grade level. When they get older and they're able to distinguish how they're different from somebody else. So we do a lot of character education lessons throughout the year, to, all about respect and respecting differences, just to help out with the bullying. But I agree that kids need to understand how to kind of stand up or how to respond. And we do work a lot with children, how to respond to somebody being mean to you or excluding you or just saying mean things to you, like what you should do. I posted a video of Brooks Gibbs below in Counselor Tips. He's amazing and wonderful. I even did it with my son, but he gives a whole bunch of tools to kids how to kind of not react when somebody, because it shuts down the bully. If they're not reacting, if they're like going along with it. But young kids like my level, where they don't understand that yet. They're very reactive, and they're going to get upset, or they're going to go back at somebody, or maybe they'll hit somebody. But older kids, as they get older, they probably are more able to understand, like laughing it off, or making a joke about themselves, or laughing with the bully.
Changing the subject.
Changing
We've got
the
a lot of
subject.
different tools that are out there
Yep.
that I think for some reason in our generation, I feel like we learned, but hasn't necessarily trickled down.
No.
We've become a society where we tell our kids to go and report. And in some cases that's necessary, but we also need to teach them what it means to report and when we should report and how we handle ourselves to shut down an issue so it doesn't get to the level of needing to be reported.
Right. But as a parent, if you're watching this as a parent, if you feel like your child is being bullied, usually on the website, there's usually an initial reporting form that you can fill out and you submit right to the school. And normally they'll call you within 24 hours within that day that you submit it, because you need to act on things really quickly. In a school, you need to start investigating. You need to do the whole, and there's a lot of New Jersey law, but we need to have the whole report pretty tied up and done, and witnesses all talked to within 10 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything needs to be tied up and finished. So if you do feel like there's a problem and your child is coming home and really, not wanting to go to school, or really is scared, or upset because of another student or a group of students, please report that immediately so that the school can do something about it and look into it and investigate it.
And I think no matter what state you're in or how specific the law is in New Jersey, that all school districts have a responsibility to look into the matter, especially
Absolutely.
if it's impacting the child's
Education.
in their education and their school environment, or how they behave within that school environment. So we are happy to answer any questions that you have. That
Right.
As you view this, you can always kind of drop them on the discussion on the side here. Get in touch with us through the page, and we're happy to respond back to any questions that you have. Also, if there's any material that you're looking for specifically, more material, more information, also feel free to ask that out there, to request it.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining.
All right.
And
Thank
have
you.
a wonderful Tuesday.
All right. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.